through which the tunnels are. So if it pops on top of the tunnels, it doesn't blind anyone who's playing back plat or backside in window because the distance is too long. Because there are certain like perfect ball flashes that you can throw by bouncing it off of the back sky wall. And unfortunately, that just doesn't blind anyone who's behind a particular point. So I'm interested to see maybe Havu's got some interesting flashes for us. Maybe Gambit youngsters have brought in something new since the past few weeks. So let's jump into the game. Let's jump into the knife round and figure out how we're going. What's the priority in sides? Because for me personally, I don't even mind CT first, man.
I think this map is just slightly T-sided still, but it's pretty team dependent. It's basically whatever you feel more comfortable with. And sometimes, you know, teams like playing defense or teams like playing T-side. But we'll get into the knife round right here, and we're gonna see just who picks what side.
I mean, first we're going to see the good old Mexican standoff outside of long. That's always fun to see.
Yeah, this is really passive.
Hoodie is very intimidating.
Yeah, I don't know why.
He literally looks like he's got his crew right behind him. He's ready to be like, oh, what's up? But unfortunately, he just dies. It's more like the hold me back, I'm about to fight someone school of thought.
Yeah, it's faking him out. But Gambit youngsters are gonna win it, and we'll see what they pick here. It wouldn't surprise me if Gambit youngsters. I feel like the less structure you have, the more you probably want T side to start. So we'll see if Gambit youngsters follow that as we get into this one.
Let's see. Gambit youngsters. Got to be T side though. I feel like that's what that's what it for sure down to. Well, that's what. I suppose it's time to get into it. Maui, what's your thoughts on the recent discussions all around MR12 and whatnot? I hate it personally.
I'm not a fan of MR12. I think if they did anything, I kind of. So back at CGS, which was a long time ago when they played Source. And CGI, where they played 1.6, they had a modified rule set, which was a 16k start money, and I think it was MR10 or something like that. Maybe it was MR12. And I watched those games back in the day because I was a big fan of Complexity then, and that's when Fraud was on the team. And it led to some exciting games. It's not like it takes away from Counter-Strike itself, but you definitely felt like a portion of the game was missing. But maybe we'll talk more about it as we move forward. We'll see just how Gambit youngsters actually chose CT side, so they're going to start here on the defense here. Shiro, the star player, is going to be fighting against Zori at long right there, but neither player is able to connect just yet.
Maybe they outgained themselves. They're saying, hey, Havu gave us such an easy knife, or maybe they just wanted to have CT side. And then they're saying, we'll pick CD side first and show them. Hero, probably nowhere near that kind of process going into it. Nice peek coming through from him. Saw gets taken down. He needs to be able to get the second one as well on his retreat, because otherwise the players from short might be able to pincer in onto Nafani, who's taken down. That's Hoodie to take him apart. Axel has to give whatever support he can, but Zori still managed to keep himself alive. Slowy is taken down by Inters instead, and now it's a 3 versus 4 where Zori has to come.
And Gambit are going to be happy about that. I think we are coming up with a technical pause here as Hoodie from Havu has DC'd, so he has FPS problems apparently, but he is back, and hopefully Havu can right things here. But I don't know if they're going to be opting for a buy just yet. That is a nice spray from Super right there, though. That is one of the definitely bigger graffitis in the game.
Yeah. Listen, I've only got like half a graffiti. It's the smile one. I'm just waiting for eventually when they start bringing in factory new graffitis.
Really clean ones, yeah.
Yeah. And really, really dirty one for Battle's card. I imagine it's just black paint coming through.
Wow, that graffiti is $2.50 for 50 uses.
Ooh, that's expensive. What's the most expensive graffiti you know about?
The Howl.
Oh, how much
The
does that
Howl
cost?
graffiti is $8, I think.
Ooh.
Or $9. It's $9.
I mean, it's cheaper than an actual Howl, at the very least.
You only get to use it 50 times.
I mean, still. Slowly coming out, taking control over short, got that nice lurk smoke for himself. Shiro's waiting on the other side of a scoped weapon that is not the AWP, but can be very close to it with some crisp aim. And Shiro's definitely capable of that, but Havu so far clustered around short, not entirely sure of how things are going to be shaping out, and they don't have that much information. They're trying to clear out mid as well, fake a mid to B potentially, but Inters has already boosted himself up and got the information for his team. Hoodie coming in, Inters is able to take him down and Saw with him, and that means that it's all up to Shero now as they have made their way onto the site. Shero will be blinded up, but shots are missed, and Slowly will be taken down by that P250. At least the bomb plot is secured because Shero will not let them get anything else.
Great hold there from Gambit. That was such a tense fight at ramp, but Shiro, Inters come out on top. Good stuff from them. Havu on their force spy. They're at least able to manage a bomb plant, but no kills. That will really help out Gambit a lot here. He will still opt for these 4 SMGs. No one's going to upgrade, of course. And Havu have a decision to make here. Do they want to continue to fight for economy, or will it just be another half buy? It looks like it'll be a half buy. That is the safer decision for sure, but we'll see if their Tech-9s are able to find a little bit more damage this time around.
I would have actually preferred a full buy, honestly. Like, CT money's way too good. And they're all on SMGs anyway. You've scouted that out. Maybe go for it. But let's see. Supra taken down early. Maybe they don't need that full buy because Slowy is coming in. Tech-9, Tech-9, Tech-9. Thank you for the buffs, Gabe. I'm pretending as if Gabe had anything to do with Counter-Strike. But hey, I've got to get some comedy in there as well. Inters. Nate chucked out, does take down Zori. Bomb is planted regardless, but retake will be coming in. No one in tunnels, even though Saw is playing from the back lines, trying to scout it out. Flashbangs coming in. Will they be able to get this retake is the question. They've come through with 2 players from window. Always difficult, but they managed to get it done. Dodo and Hoodie taking down 1 apiece, and now Shero is creeping and crawling away. Maui, they didn't need the full buy.
Yeah, the Tech-9s look so powerful now. Shiro will try to keep himself alive here, though. He's being hunted down, and oh, he's trying to play the slow game, but it will only net him 1 kill. But it should keep him alive here, unless Saw comes up with something very impressive. Oh, Shiro continuing with the fight. Wow, I'm surprised Saw didn't actually know where he was at that moment, but that was odd, but it will keep Gambit's money pretty low. That is a very good round of win for Havu. You aren't going to allow Gambit to keep all of their SMGs and play a complete full free round. But instead, it will be them actually helping their own money out a little bit.
Good money right there. But now... Keep an eye out for Inters. Oh, actually, never mind. Axel will be given the first shot. He lands it. Beautifully done right now. Gambit youngsters on their defense are getting the shots they need to make sure that they don't just let Havu slip away. Now, 1:15, Dodo has to make a play and Supra has to try and deny. Dodo spotted out, Nafani will not be taken down, and seems like an easy enough round for Gambit youngsters, Maui.
Yeah, still 2 players alive, though. Hoodie and Saw, not usually the stars for this team whatsoever, but they have good positioning right now. Hoodie almost given a kill right there, but they will opt for Catwalk here, and there is only a single player in Shiro defending this A site presently. And he only has a decoy to work with, so just really going to be up to him hitting his shots here. The lurk smoke should come out from one of these players. I think Hoodie still has a smoke, but it will be the run boost that they go for. So Shiro, he has to hit a shot. He does not hit the flick. Now they will be scaling up on him, and Shiro, he actually will be evaded by the opposing opper. Hoodie is making his way up the ramp, and that's an interesting fight to take. He hits the no-scope right there, leaving Saw in the 1v3. The Molly comes out. This will force him out of position. It actually isn't quite on him, but he won't be able to connect the shot. So Gambit still are able to recover that one, but a good plant once again coming out from Havu.
The op investment though not really paying off at all. It does get some kills here and there, but I don't know, man. I feel like maybe you need to prioritize that a bit more in terms of positioning and whatnot.
Yeah, they couldn't involve it early enough into that round. Zori will have another crack at it here as he's on the glass cannon op. But we'll see if he's able to accomplish anything. But these smokes mid will prevent him finding anything. But Slowy, on the other hand, will be finding something towards long. But it's actually just a bullet in the foot from Shiro and then a body shot from Axile.
Hoodie. Actually, keep an eye out for Nafani. This might be tricky over here because Dodo, oh, he's taking him down. That's important kill to get. Supra has now been isolated into the B bomb site, but his positioning is fantastic. He repositions right as I say that. As he hears footsteps coming in from door, he doesn't trust himself to hold the window angle, and now it's a 3 versus 3. Inters has actually managed to trap in Dodo, who's scoped in, but this could be troublesome because Saw comes in from the sideline instead. Bomb is planted, but look at where Axel is. They're not going to be expecting this player to come in from tunnels. They don't think he can creep in from behind, and he's even passed this perfectly because that means that, oh no, Dodo, he's in danger. Saw wasn't able to scout out Axel as he went in. The smoke comes through on the side. Nice kill from Shiro on through towards the B doors. Now Shiro 1v1. Can he get this in? He's got the positioning down, not very much time, but he gets a shot, jumps onto Xbox to guarantee that, but I don't think he's got enough time for the bomb defuse, and that'll be it. The round going the way of Havu.
Such a close attempt. Good job from Shiro there to find that kill, but just playing around that box well. That's Saw. That's the in-game leader for Havu. He's going to make the right play over, or sometimes the mechanically impressive one every time, and he just buys his team enough time in that instance to delay Shiro and that defuse. A very close round, and a swing one at that. We can see that the money for both these teams is so low, and they both actually force into it. Havu off the win, but Gambit off of that loss. They aren't working with too much here. 4 Deagles and an UMP. They don't even have any smokes left in this round. But look at Havu's utility. It's still so good. They have such a good chance to find good map control to flush out some of these angles, but will they do just that? Or will Nafanu get an opportunity?
Well, Enders. Oh dear, Ender's able to get Zori down. He shouldn't have been given that, but unfortunately some poorly timed peeks coming through where they're not able to come in together. Axel in the meanwhile has a clean shot onto Hoodie, and Enders, can he get more out of this round? Flashbangs are going to come through, but he doesn't have that angle. Instead, it's Axel to try and defend. Galil, that was picked up earlier, has to come into play, but the smoke will prevent visibility, and I think that might just beat the round, even if it's a 3v4. Maybe Dodo's death could be coming in. Indeed, it does. Good flashbang from Nathani allows that, and suddenly things get trickier, Maui.
Yes, 2v4, Slowy and Saw, but now it's just Slowy. He's been a star player for this Havu team, but he has to win a huge 1v4. It won't happen. Supra, it takes him down. 4 players alive for Gambit youngsters off of the force buy, and some great Deagle shots from these Gambit players was able to net them that round, and it was such a big round at that. It was another big swing momentum round, and look at the money for Havu now. They even got the bomb plant, but not a single player, or just one, has over $3,000 in Saw, and I don't know. I'm not sure. They've been opting to force a lot in this game thus far. I'm not sure if they can really go for it here, though. And they'll prove me wrong. They'll go for it once again.
Well, I mean, it is the modern day Counter-Strike, I guess. I don't particularly like it, but hey, it is what it is. At the very least in this case, you know, if they lose, they go back down, then they're on 0. You know, they have to at least sacrifice rifles after that, you know? Sometimes it just seems like you can have this exact same buy and still have like $1,500 left in the tank. It's pretty ridiculous.
Yeah. It's weird. It's not it's not the conservative game we are necessarily used to after years of watching and playing it, but it's it does create more gun rounds, and it has some more tension for the CT side. I don't know if that's necessarily good though, that the CT side is always fighting for scraps all the time.
They're like the neglected child.
Yeah, they just have to just work with what they get, and it's going to be a B exec once again. Nafani, Molotov out, good counter flash as well. It's a burning hoodie right there. They can't really run through that flame just yet, but the counter utility will continue to come out, and this time Gambit Youngsters is ready for it. Super really whipping the spray at one point right there, but he isn't going to miss the USP shots. Continues on, picks up the Tech 9, wants to hunt for the last, and he does get it. 3K on the round for Supra, a little bit messy with the but he is able to clean things up, and he's able to clean up Havu.
Yeah. Now we have what should finally be an actual save. And I mean, the previous buy made a bit more sense. They didn't have very much loss bonus regardless. They would probably have had no chance to get themselves full rifle plus utility anyway. So, you know, he may as well try go for it, I suppose. But a straight B rush seems to be Havu's play quite a few times over, actually, which is interesting in its own right. They do have a single flashbang. Hopefully should be able to catch Axel off guard with that. The flashbang indeed does, but great nades and a Molotov with some spray from the Galil means that Axel might just get an ace. And indeed he does.
Such a good cleanup there. I would love to see Axel's utility damage after that round. I feel like that nade did something like 300 damage. It was just right on them. They didn't have armor. I want to see this right here. It's such a... Ooh. That just landed in their faces. That was so good. And they're eco kills, but, you know, he still hit some pretty clean shots here. This last one in particular. Nice one tap to finish things off.
Well, Zari's... Ooh, Zari and Hoodie. Shiro. Oh, he's been flashed off that angle. That's important because now Slowy. They could just be going for the fake again, but it seems like maybe it is an actual mid to beat this time. It's 3v5. They don't really have much to fake with, especially when Slowy goes down, and Shiro is not going to be stopping before getting another. So very lonely over here, and I feel like Havu, I mean, listen, Maui, they're getting a few nice kills over here, but Havu's very much letting some, you know, interesting things happen on the C side. It seems like they're a little bit in disarray.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like they're always capitalizing off their opportunities either. That mid play was a little odd. Just Shiro right here finding these couple kills. This wasn't necessarily supposed to happen. Havu didn't flash him off that angle once, but twice, but they didn't really commit to either of those fights. And just gotta give credit to Shiro for finding the kills and still holding his ground regardless, but it doesn't feel like Havu's playing up to their natural teamwork strengths that I've seen so many times before. It feels like they are just having difficulty getting map control and kind of opting for some weird directions for it as well. It looks like they're slowing things down a little bit this time around. I would love to see a timeout come from them before the upcoming gun round, but we'll see if they opt for that, and we'll see if they are able to accomplish anything here as they go for this run boost, and will likely throw out another to try to get up onto this A bomb site.
The double run boost is always so much fun to watch. It's like there's flying players everywhere.
Yeah, it makes things pretty tough for players like Shiro, but the double smokes come out from middle. Nafani will molly off the door. That is a very timely piece of utility for him and his teammate, and they will capitalize off it beautifully. 4 headshots already, just leaving Saw. Will it be another headshot? That's the only real question I have left. Oh, actually, it is another headshot, but it comes from Saw. Good shot from him, but just a single kill in that round is not what Havu are looking for, because that was a nice half-buy investment from them. But this utility, this hold from Gambit Youngsters, they are playing off of each other so well. The utility on top of that does such a great job. And yeah, Havu here, they have to get back into this game.
They gave a B bomb site for free one time, and after that it's just like, all right, that's enough, guys. Get out the Molotovs, get out the nades. We're not gonna do this again. If I ever see you doing that one more time, then I'm telling you we're gonna have to dry on it for 3 hours straight, because that's what the in-game leader made us do last time.
Yeah, you know that they're a little bit concerned about how easy it was for Havu that one time around.
For sure. And Havu, you know, maybe that one time around is actually coming back to bite them, because they seem to be trying to go for it many times over. Inters getting one over Slaw and Slowy. A great flashbang coming out from Shiro, and a second one from Nafani to enable him to get that few kills. So where did Shiro flash that from, actually? Oh, wow. Nafani getting another kill on a Dodo. Shiro flashed that all the way from A side?
Yeah, good pop flash.
Yeah, that's really good. Do you flash that over the building?
I think you have to. I think you kind of just run through it. We'll see if Hoodie and Zori are able to set themselves up, though. 2v5, and it isn't looking pretty for them just yet. Axile will use that spot to the fullest effect, finding 2 headshots there, and this is just utter domination for Gambit youngsters in this half. Havu with only 2 rounds thus far. One of them was on a half buy, and this is just such a strong play. I think he might have been at kind of closer to elbow when he threw it, actually, or maybe they threw 2 flashes, actually.
They did throw 2 flashes.
Yeah, so 2 different flash assists actually there. But Havu, they will be on Tech 9s once again. Axile with a great Molotov towards Long early on will slow them down, and he will be able to find the kill off of that. But Havu, they aren't actually too interested in Long. They will be challenging Shiro here towards this A bomb site. There's already lurk smoke, it seems like, somehow out towards Catwalk. I'm not sure how they placed that so early into the round, but it will not seem to matter as Shiro does find these kills along with Axile. Man, Gambit youngsters just seem like they're on fire right now. Saw will be able to pick up a single kill, and that will be all that Havu have to write about in this round. A bomb plant and a kill.
Yeah.
This late into a half with the money on Gambit youngsters, that's not something you're really okay with.
Maui, when you see money like this on the CT side, it's like the favorite child has messed up so badly that the parents finally have to come down and say, all right, fine, counter-terrorists will treat you like you're a real person. And then they overcompensate.
Yeah, it's really dangerous for CTs before they get their economy rolling, but once they do, it's so hard to make it through some of these rounds. When you have the molly on every player, you have the smoke and have the double flash and the nade flash. And it looks like Havu, they're just getting so desperate off of it. Again, Inters with some great utility. This will shut them down towards door, and Supra knows what's available. The micro decision making between Inters and Supra has been so good, but just as I say that, they are finally taken out. Zori is able to find 2 kills. Slowly, he knows he has to make a hero play, though. He can't just sit in the bomb site with his teammate. He tries to make the FPL play with the smoke, but what is this? They're right against each other. They don't actually catch each other somehow. Slowy is able to find the kill, and there was a player Zori is able to take down Axile. Now it's just down to Nafani, and another great shot from Zori there is able to get the 3rd round on the board for Havu. I can't believe Slowy was able to push out of that smoke right then and there. There was a player by the smoke, but they just didn't catch him. I think it's the player, whoever is last to die in this, Nafani, just didn't ever look left, and that somehow worked. Zori, nice couple shots to end things. Havu barely scraping that one together.
Oh, I mean, if that's what you need to win the round, you deserve it. Zori with the only 4 kills he's had all game long coming through in that round.
Yeah, that was a big round for him to get on the board, and we'll see if Havu's able to capitalize off of it. They don't have much money to work with, though, so if Gambit are able to take this one down, it will be so tough for Havu into the upcoming one.
Yeah. Now, listen, this is where maybe Havu can get themselves that 5th round, you know, because they desperately need it, to be honest. And that's a good start right there. Supra caught out. They're assisted a little bit by the spawn they had, but Ender's on the other side, who's not on the B bomb site. It's actually Axel playing the B bomb site this time, interestingly enough. Maybe it was spawn dependent, but hey, he's not able to get any kills this time. At the very least, damage done is decent. You know, all of these Havu players have to be a little bit careful. You're in that 1 headshot territory from the M4A4, except for Saw, who himself only has a Galil. So, you know, in the 1v1, he's not particularly favored himself. Shiro. Good old delay smoke coming in. Dodo is on the lurk and he finds Nafani, takes him down, enters, and Shiro. They started off on this A-bomb side. They've got to finish off on it too. 50 seconds on the clock. Shiro realizes it's time to start acting up. Are they going to go for a boost to see over the smoke? No, they're not. All right. Shiro sees Hoodie, takes a shot in, but Enders is brought down and slowly will be able to burn Shiro alive. The cremation comes through and Havu with a very clean round, surprisingly enough, all being off of 1 kill over on long.
Saxal remains in CT spawn. He finds a single kill before falling. It would have been nice to take down Zori with him because it would have actually put Havu in an interesting position with some of their players' buys where maybe they might have lost one piece of utility across the board, but of no consequence to just find that single frag. All things considered, just a little bit of stat padding. Gambit youngsters, they really had a good grasp on this game, but now it's kind of slipping away from them. And if Havu are able to find a 5th round here, I definitely see a huge possibility that they come back into this one. They are picking up a little bit momentum, and Dodo might just use that here with his lurk towards middle. Hoodie keeping up the opening frags along with Saw finds 2 early on, and now it's a 3v5 advantage. Dodo continuing things is able to find another kill. It seems like Havu has finally woken up, and when you wake up this beast, you need to be ready for it. Gambit youngsters, they've just not been.
I mean, they do have 10 rounds, in all fairness. Hey, they did a pretty good job of letting Sleeping Beast lie. But now, you're right. Havu looked like they've picked up some steam. They've put some coal in the engine. They've, decided, hey, it's time to destroy the ozone layer. Isn't that the conversation that goes internal to teams?
Yeah, more or less. But I just wanted to bring up when they showed the other stats. Axile with that nade towards Catwalk, and I think he had a molly earlier. 340 utility damage.
Ooh.
I think the vast majority of that was with that single grenade at elbow. That was such a good cleanup on that eco round there.
Mm-hmm. Oh, for sure. I mean, Nafani not too far behind either. He's sitting on 262. That is impressive. Let's be very clear about that, especially against Havu, who you would expect them to be the ones getting the utility damage typically. But hey, they'll have their turn. It's CT side now.
Yeah, I think this is a really important pistol round for both teams. If Gambit can shut down Havu's momentum from the previous half right here, right now, they have a great chance to just run away with this game. But Havu, if they are going to begin climbing back into this one, clawing their way into it, they really, really want this.
Oh, flashbangs will be able to force off slow. He's not playing anti-flash early. Surprising when you're solo on A long. Even being solo on A long would be considered a bit surprising. 2 players in mid, not the setup you generally see, but one of them will very quickly be coming back to reclaim A short, and the other one will be allowed to boost over. So, double smokes come through. Slowy is now in position from on top of the side, peeking out with a P2K, wishing it was a USB perhaps, but at the same time, USP not the best of firing through smokes with Slowy trying to peek out, peek through, but he's only able to get one, and it's a bit delayed. Zori coming in from Ninja will be able to assist though, and Saw in the backlines has had the smokes fade to his own demise. Slowy still alive. He's got 2 kills so far. It's still fighting, still weaving, still ducking, still diving, and Slowy has got 3, and the chaos he's striving as 4 will come through. 6 to 10. It started off slow for Slowy, but he's able to clean it up.
And that's what I'm talking about. Havu right there, able to pick that up. Now Gambit youngsters not even able to find a plant in the previous round. If they were in Havu's shoes, they would go for the force buy, but they will, with this round lead, just opt for a single smoke grenade. I think they want to go for some kind of cat pop, but that's a great nade from Saw, but just a little bit too early. So Gambit waited out. They don't take any damage there. And another nade, a little bit too early as well. Havu, I mean, they see the future, but they're acting on it a little too quickly. So we'll see if Gambit youngsters are able to get a bomb plant. I know they would love that here. They don't have any smokes though, so this will be all up to Saw, who will likely try to jump shot them, and we'll see if he's able to do just that.
I believe in Saw. Oh, he sees them because of the He managed to cancel the run boost at the very least. Zori will get 2 kills. Saw still alive with the MP9. He's hoping for some more reward than just a round win. Wanted some money as well, but Dodo instead steals it away with a jumping shot of his own as well. And he even still... Oh, see, that's just disrespectful. He even takes the M4 away from him. Says, no, you don't get it.
Great round from Havu there. Gambit youngsters, they... good idea behind that one. Too bad, right when they jump spotted, Saul was able to slow them down. A little bit of bullet tagging, a little bit of nice shooting and luck from him. Nafani, though, going to be flying out long early on, wants to take this fight against Hoodie, but neither player connects with each other, and this flurry of utility won't actually do more than a single point of damage across the board. But the real hit is actually towards Catwalk. Look at this. They actually are going to be moving all the way up the A side so early on. Nafani still drawing so much attention, but these players at long, they might get shot in the back very soon. As we can see on the radar, Axile is scaling up very quickly. They know they have to clear him out of this angle, and they'll do just that. Hoodie and Dodo are able to find stereo frags on Nafani and Shiro. Zori continues to clean up Axile here, and it's just 2 players remaining for Gambit.
This 2v5 will be crucial. Damage at the very least needs to be done, but damage is being done the other way around. Enters, finally gets 1 kill, and he knows he can't really just keep himself alive. There's not much point of it, but neither is there any point of him peeking right there. And honestly, I have to say, Havu looked like they should have lost that because they did get a bit sloppy with 3 players being sent aggressively towards the A site. I honestly think that Gambit youngsters might not have expected that, because otherwise you wouldn't see them going up Catwalk. You probably see them going mid to B instead.
Yeah, I think it had to be a mid-round call from that solo long player that from Nafani, probably saying they're all over me long. There's 3 long. He's just throwing out comms. You know, he's so worried about it. And Havu, I mean, even though Havu actually seemed like they were outplayed and outpositioned in that one, they just were able to recover with some nice shots and knowing that they did in fact need to clear long before Axile was able to flank them. So good stuff from Havu there. Gambit youngsters may be overplaying their hand just a little bit in that round where, you know, maybe the mid-round call didn't work out for them the way they expected.
I don't think you expect... Oh, nice shot from Saw on a super. That's one of the beautiful ones that you sometimes see coming in. Hoodie, that's another one. Not quite as aesthetic, but still pretty good. Shiro, however, comes through with completion. Finishes off what Nafani started. And now it's a 3v3, surprisingly enough. One where Gambit youngsters had a decent chance, but Slowy will take Inters away. Still a 2v2, never mind. I don't know what's going on here. These trades just keep coming through again and again. Shiro's positioning is also fantastic because he can catch off Saw if Saw wants to come in from here. And the op on Axel, well, listen, it's already got Slowy down. Saw, he's not spotted at the very least, but he will be heard going all the way over towards A short. Not A short, sorry, A long. As the bomb will be planted. Shiro picks up an AK-47 for himself. Probably wants to drop that for Axel. He doesn't have Kevlar, as it is the 1v2 now for Saw.
He has a smoke and a flash, so he may be able to cross right here. Throws the flash before the smoke, and that will spell his doom. A nice round from Gambit youngsters. Not really sure if they even knew how they found all the kills that they found there. It just seemed like they split up the map, just pushed out of every direction at once, and somehow they got kills at B, at short,
Deagles.
Yeah, just Deagles. I mean, that sometimes just happens. Just a good Deagle default eco. And it gets them their first T-side round on the board. Axile wants to continue things, though. He flies towards long early on. Hoodie here, spraying with his hump, isn't able to accomplish anything at all. And it just leaves Saw here. Does he even make it all the way back? No, he does not. Axile finding the great headshot. Slowy, he knows he has to get his team back into this round, and that flash right there might just seal the deal. They might just have to call for the save already, unless they can find a free kill, but they look like they are already hightailing it towards B. Gambit youngsters will be given their 12th round if they don't, you know, if they push as we expect.
I'm very confused about something, which is that how did the CT player manage to get to blue?
Havu are throwing a slightly different smoke for long control, where they kind of throw it a little bit deeper than the corner. So you see where that player with the AK, the crouching right now, Supra, that's kind of where their smoke lands when they try to fight for long control, so that they can fight both on the left side of it and the right side by blue bin. It's kind of an interesting approach to long control. And it hasn't really. It kind of worked, I guess. They defeated Nafani there that one time, but this time around they aren't even able to get a single kill. So there's strengths and weaknesses to playing like that. It's more like if you're used to it and the other team isn't, it can catch them off guard. But if you're, if you're using it over and over again, which it seems like Havu is, I think Gambit are kind of ready for it now.
Because it just isolates the player in blue as well. It's not like he can actually get any support. If the pit player just ducks down and doesn't take contest with long, and then the rest of your long players just take down the blue bin.
Yeah, it has a very easy counter, which is just holding for that guy. It's not like I'm saying if you know it's coming, which Gambit do at this point, they can fight around it pretty well. But if the first time around, it usually allows that player at blue bin to sometimes find one kill. They're like, oh wow, the smoke was not what we are used to. So, but a little bit of double dipping from Havu will get them caught off guard there. They lose 3 players without a trade, and now Gambit are able to not only win the round but build a lot of economy off of that.
Yeah. Maybe that blue bin player can actually take down someone rushing pit. Maybe that's the logic behind it. Not sure. I'll have to test that out in a server later. But Slowy, he is just chilling behind a gap in the smoke, trying to find a pick off towards T-spawn if there is an offer there. But unfortunately for him, Shiro is wise for his years. He is already backed off. He's expecting potentially a high mid push to come through, or at least he's checking for it. At the same time, Gambit youngsters, who did gain control over the B tunnels, have now backed off, leaving Inters there. Inters has had some very good timing, to be honest, in flanks and in making sure he's exactly at the right spot to prevent a pincer from the Havu. So that's quite nice to see. It's always, it's always a very good quality to have. But I'm interested to see what Zori is doing right here. So he will be able to scout out the Xbox smoke coming in. And then, is there going to be a reaction? They don't really have weapons. Are they, maybe just going to say, all right, come over here slowly, see if you can get some kills. If you can't, then run away with the AWP. And yeah, that's what it looks like. But he's a bit too slow with the flashbang, actually. And that should be a lost op. Yep, that's a lost op. Well,
yeah, it really hurts. Oh. Well, they might get one. No, I think they'll defend this pretty well. It's a little bit too deep on around the corner there. Hoodie does want it, but he'll be taken down for that. And Gambit are able to recover it, keep 4 players alive. Havu does not look like they will be coming back into the game just yet. They have a tough decision here, but down 5 rounds, you really have to go for these kind of force buys, around 4,300 per player. It's not the prettiest sight, especially when Shiro has an op and this spawn. This is not the fight you want to take if you're Havu, and I expect Shiro will be coming up with some big shots here. The smoke isn't quite deep, or the molly's not quite deep enough, but neither is the player peeking out. So Shiro isn't able to find that opening frag, and Gambit are going to be going for, maybe it looks like a B play here.
He didn't go for the bunny hop, surprisingly enough. That's what you normally see operators do when they're trying to get the initial advantage, isn't it? Oh, nice shot from Slowy as he takes advantage of a small gap in the smoke. Always good to see, and Nate following through as well, getting some good damage. Saw is damaged himself, though. And now Hoodie has to step up and take down Axel, which he will do so, as the Molotov will be in his hands. Very powerful, but not quite when you're faced off with a gun. B-bomb site is completely taking control of. Time for the retake. Slow is going to be moving in quickly. Nafani is good for that kill, though. And with that, a 4v3 turns to a 3v3, and the retake is still on the B-bomb side of Dust 2, which is generally, that means you're in a 3 versus 7, essentially.
so difficult here, but Havu have to win this one. They are already positioning themselves to go for it. They still have a smoke, but it looks like it's just on Dodo, who's coming from B tunnels right here, and he somehow wins the fight against Shiro. So this is actually all of a sudden very doable. Super and Nafani are holding a nice crossfire. A good flash from Zori comes out to blind that player, but it doesn't actually result in a kill, but these shots will. Zori takes down Super, and Havu able to win a very important 9th round there. I was going to bring that all the way back to Slowy peeking in before they really needed to in that 4v3 situation, but Havu, they're still able to recover it, thankfully. Zori's able to recover the op, Dodo on the AK as well. Those are 2 big guns to take into the upcoming round, because the money for Havu is not looking pretty. All of these players with under 4k right now, even before the buys, and look at this. This is really, if Gambit want to win this game, they can do it right here, right now. The money is so bad for Havu.
Havu on the flip side need to get something, and that is pretty good. They haven't been able to get that long pick so far. It's a good start now that they're finally able to do so. They do give up some control over short, but Dodo will be able to hear them coming up quick, and he's given Zori the signal, the sign, and the go ahead to take down more towards short. He peeks out again. Zori with some beautiful kills coming in time and time and time again, and Havu, with their backs against the wall, will be more than happy to fight all the way back. Zori has had a bit of a quieter game so far, Maui, but he has stepped up in some very key rounds. He's what allowed them to get that 5th round on the T side, and now could be the savior of CT as well.
Yeah, we'll see if he's able to continue it here. Shiro, the opposing opera, will just be saving his into the upcoming round, and that's very good stuff from Havu. They read that so well, and off of some great opening picks from Zori, he's able to rotate back to defend the rest of that A bomb site, and it's, I mean, you just love to see it when both ops get rolling. Shiro is already doing pretty well in this game. Axile's been the main star for Gambit though, and Zori, very quiet start, but now that he's coming alive, it really seems like Havu has a chance, and that's kind of the story of Dust 2 at times, where if your opera's not hitting shots, there are some critical picks that may be missed.
Axile's been pretty crazy though. Yeah. I'm interested to see how many kills Zori has now. Observer, could we go to Zori for a second? Thank you. He is 16 and 16. You know what? That's actually a pretty big improvement. He only actually got his first 2 kills on the 13th round, I think. That's actually really big improvement. I am thinking of Zori, right? Zori was zero kills until he got that 4K, right?
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, he's come alive since though.
Oh yeah, for sure. CT side, he's been rocking it. Well, let's see. Shiro. Oh, he saw. Oh, I always get a little bit of a mini heart attack whenever an opera sees the head and kind of just jitters a little bit. Then I'm like, oh, there's the kill coming through.
Yeah, there's always just a light chance, and I'm surprised they don't always go for it, but I guess they sometimes might expect a peek or just want to maintain the info in case anyone else jumps across for their team. But interesting decision. Gambit, they don't seem like they know exactly what map control they want to take just yet. They'll be going up Catwalk, but they're saving their smokes really well. They actually look like they're going to be up Catwalk, only burning a single smoke grenade. This could allow for them to have a very good cat exec or a very good fake off of this. So this is something that they really have a great chance to convert if they use their utility well enough. We'll see if they do just that, or is Havu's B setup going to be the right gamble? Will Gambit youngsters fake themselves out? Will they go for the A fake into a B split? And, you know, only time will tell.
There come the smokes. Actually, that's a different set of smokes. That's jumping down smokes. Nafani will not be able to find Saw, although Saw does get the information. Good Molotov timing coming in. Should have some backup, but Saw, in fact, forces them into his own hands, and his own hands will strangle the life out of them. Dodo smoking off doors once again. That's the big cross choke point that you want to eliminate, and in fact, he just pushes through immediately afterwards. Axile's down. Shiro might be next. Hoodie you know, he's doing what he can, but it's really his teammates that are stealing all the kills from him.
Gambit there had full cat control, had so much utility. Don't go for their cat exec. They go for this mid to B split, and that's just what I was alluding to before it happened. I was just so worried whether were they going to go for it? Were they going to go into that exec? I'm not picking any favorites here, but you just knew that if you're running into 3 players on that B side with a mid to B split, it's almost predetermined. You know how hard it is to retake that bomb site already when you don't use all the kind of retake nades to get comfy in there on the retake. It's so hard to breach that, and that was a very good call from Havu, a very good gamble, and a very timely one. So it will force Gambit onto Deagles, P250s, and a scout on Shiro. See if they find any shots with it though.
That smoke's one of the trippiest smokes in the game, man. I have no idea how Idran found that. Like, I spent a lot of time in servers trying to find smokes and flashes. That's just absurd.
It feels like it's just an accident that then they were like, okay, how do we replicate this? And then they probably tried so many different iterations.
Yeah, like, I can just imagine, like, maybe someone threw it from far away and then accidentally, like, bounced on top of it and ran like, haha, let's go win the Intel Grand Slam with this. Now, Saul wants to win some good games over here as well, and he's given himself a chance to do so. 1 kill, 2 kill, they all fall down. And Saul, well, he's going to make sure that that very thing happens. Inders is left alone with the Deagle. He's been good with flanks, but is he good with 1v5s? No, he's not. He is absolutely not. I don't think anyone in the world is, but he definitely isn't.
He was not ready for that 1v5, I'll tell you that. But on the other hand, Havu very ready for that cat play. Now, Gambit youngsters, it feels like they've been psyching themselves out of this game on the T side thus far. They were able to accomplish a few rounds, but since then, Havu has been beginning to run away with it, and this is looking ever more dire for Gambit youngsters. They are going to slow things down this time around, not going to be finding any map control. Havu have long here, maybe expecting a late long take, as Gambit have really run through a lot of the Dust 2 playbook already, but we'll see. It seems like Gambit youngsters are more interested in their very light smoke cat control. Once again, they haven't used a single smoke grenade just yet, and already they have control of catwalk. That is very impressive stuff from their team. Axile, we're going to need a lot more impressive stuff from him if Gambit want to close this one out, though. And on this lurk position, I don't know if he'll expect slowy.
Mai, do you think you can do a 4-man boost on B doors to see over it? We'll talk about that later. Zori flicks down, he misses a shot, a rare occurrence ever since they've switched halves. Hoodie is here to put up the wall and prevent them from coming in, though. 4v2, Shiro and Inters left to fight off quite a bit. And you know, that's a good start, but a bad follow-up. Shiro missing what looked like an easy shot, and enters now in a 1 versus 3 with no easy shots to be found, especially not with that knife out.
Pretty from Gambit there. Just pushing multiple directions at once. No real concerted effort towards any site with... You know, they sent 3 towards Catwalk, but it was only really 2 riflers and Shiro trying to support them, while 1 person was lurking towards mid, 1 lurking towards long. Now Gambit, the scoreline's tied up. They had a great CT side, which was their side that they picked. Let it be noted. And now on T side, they only have 3 rounds. Havu have 8 on the CT side, and they've built up a lot of money to go along with that, and this looks like a round for them to build up even more. I think Gambit youngsters will be opting for the half buy here, as they do have good loss bonus, so probably going to be seeing some Tech 9s, some light utility. Actually, it's going to be Deagles across the board for these players, and I really need Shiro to step up a little bit. He's been very quiet on this T side. On CT side, he did a pretty solid job. Axile as well. Axile still doing pretty decent work, But Shiro, I mean, he's the player I always want to look out for Gambit youngsters, but he's had a pretty quiet T side, and Gambit, they haven't been able to convert anything off of his lack of kills.
Havu, they're laid back, Maui. They've done the heavy lifting. Now it's all about anti-deagles, which are actually pretty hard. I kind of... See, this is where I'm always saying, oh yeah, it's a chill, it's anti-deagle. I can probably talk about that silly 4-man boost over B doors. But then it's deagles coming in and they just get 7 kills. Hard life, Maui. It's a hard life. Especially harder when you've got Saw ready to take you down once you've jumped down. He's got 2 kills. Zori is reminding me that sometimes anti-deagles are also pretty chill because they're in another 5v1. And dare I say it, Havu might be the best 5v1 team in the world.
I would be willing to award that title towards a lot of teams. But Havu would be in the running. I'll say that. They've had a couple 5v1s and they've converted all of them. Yeah. So good for 100%. Havu as they continue to convert those 5v1s there. Gambit youngsters, they finally come out with a pretty concerted cat exec effort, but it's on deagles, and they weren't able to find too much off of it. Havu, on the other hand, have been doing very well for themselves, building up so much economy. And look at this. It looks like Gambit youngsters, they've recognized maybe the one hole in the Havu defense, but they don't really commit to it. Nafani, I thought he might have pressured those mid doors, maybe got out and gotten some control early, but it will be Hoodie who gets taken down early on. Axile finding a good opening kill. He's had such a strong game for Gambit thus far, and maybe this one will propel them to tie the scoreline up. Finally, a 5v4 advantage for them, and they slow the round down.
I like this from Slowy. He catches the player on Taxi very quickly. Axel didn't have a chance, even if he tried to get the pre-fire in. And after that, he backs off immediately, recognizing that if Axel's sitting on Taxi, listen, that means they're coming short, guys. So why don't you just come all over, give me some help over here, and that's what Saw is going to be trying to do. Slowy, waiting for them to come in. And he tries to get that flick, unsuccessful. Dodo on the bright side for him does get a kill. Slowly re-peeking again, missing his shot. Are they going to be able to get here on time before the bomb gets planted? Otherwise things could get tricky. The Molotovs are going to prevent them from moving up. Slowly has been smoked off as well. Nades coming through, not doing much damage at all. Shiro watching the back lines is looking for that equalizer, and he will be able to get it as Dodo is taken down. Shiro still has opportunity for one more, and he will not give it up. So and Slowy, they've got to come through. Slowy's missed quite a few shots so far, and that is not acceptable. And so now Saw has to step up, and he's doing so, but only for a limited amount of time. Slowy forced to back off, and listen, you land one more of those shots, Slowy, and maybe you win that round.
Yeah, but Gambit, they only keep 2 players alive in this one, so this is a great round for Havu to continue with the momentum they brought this entire half and actually just end it, practically speaking. Gambit youngsters will have to spend all of their money to complete this one. Very good shot from Slowy to equalize things, but clean shots from Shiro here. He's had a quiet game. I called upon him to try to step up in this one, and he did just that, securing that round there. Shiro, will he keep finding more, though? Just going to be gambling with a shot through the smoke. Won't find that. And look at this. Gambit youngsters thought maybe they were going to head in the direction of the solo B player in Slowy, but they will actually slow things down once again. I really like how they get cat control. They really don't use more smokes than they need to, whereas some teams will throw even 2 sometimes to find that space on the map. But look at this, they just do it with a flash. And if they recognize that they aren't being challenged for this space, that they don't need to use the smoke, they won't. And it allows them for more utility later for their execs, allows for cleaner cat hits, allows for better post plants on top of that. There's a lot of benefits from not using their utility early on if they don't have to.
Inders hasn't really been able to get those fantastic flanks that we've seen him get all game long in the past few rounds. Maybe this could be a time to beg for change. Flashbangs come out. Inders will be able to force the man back in towards CT spawn as he avoids the nade damage. Zori gets gifted a very easy shot as he will now reposition, hope for another very easy shot. Unfortunately, run boosts are nefariously hard to deal with, especially when accompanied with a flashbang. That's why you've got Saw playing from down below, finding the kills you need to. Zori's down, but Hoodie's in the lurk, and he will be able to find another one. 2 versus 3. The bomb will be planted. There's 12 seconds on the clock, so the CTs do not feel worried about pushing forward, especially with flashbangs in Shiro's face and nades on Inter's body. Inter's gets one before being taken down. Saw now will be coming in from the side. He's still going for those jump shots as he's trying to get something on the other. Shiro's forced to switch to an AK, and he does so beautifully. Peeks out again, but Slowly's got a deagle on the other side. And listen, AK being picked up is stylish, but the deagle shots and the spray to the body, well, that's called insult to injury.
That was such a close round. Saw with that jumping M4 shot, killing one of the players. He just wanted to repeat that luck. Thankfully, he had Slowy behind him because that was a little too much for Shiro. I mean, Shiro was a little bit sick of just seeing Saw jump up over and over again. Finally hits the shot. And that was such a close one. And as we can see off of that, the money for Gambit now, it's not too great for them. They will be able to buy nearly complete utility, but it's actually not everything they've been working with. And it looks like it's going to be an all-out long brawl. This might be the game right here, right now. Early on, Saw already finds the kill on Ashiro, who's been stepping it up in the recent rounds, but he will have no shot in this one. A nice 5v4 advantage to start things off. Gambit, they know they can't just charge on through that. They know they need to find another avenue for success, but with the low utility, as they only have now 2 smokes, there aren't that many plays available for them. They don't have as many choices. They will likely just have to end up towards B at this point, because getting up catwalk, it'll be so dangerous. Get even a cat exec with those 2 smokes, it means you have nothing for the post plan. It almost forces your hand this early on in the round.
There's a minute left to salvage this situation and go to overtime, Maui. Going to be a long minute, especially if you're on the Gambit youngsters side. Down 4v5, Havu having plenty of utility as well. 2 smokes, 2 molotovs, and a whole lot of nades and flashes. Saw doesn't really want to use that molly, but with 30 seconds left on the clock, now would be a perfect time to chuck it out into the wild. Let it be free, he says, but is that going to be what they do? Saw backs off. Don't think he gave away sound cues, and Slowy's got a beautiful kill on the Supra. He got aggressive the second he heard an inkling of maybe there might be a mid to B take, and Zori's got the perfect timing on the Molotov. Will get the perfect shot onto Nafani, and now it's all on him. It's all or nothing for Gambit, and it will be nothing. 16-14. It was so close, Maui. They took it so far. They had such a good CT side. We thought maybe Havu was out of it, but Zori starts off everything with a 4K to take away from 0 kills, and now look at him.
Great effort there from Havu. What a comeback that was. I'm very impressed they had the resolve to do it, especially online in these kind of circumstances. But that's what you sometimes build when you have when you go through the trials and tribulations of a season like Flashpoint. I know I keep harkening back to that, but I saw them there so many times where they had tough games like this. They had a lot of tough rounds, and they were able to pull those out too. And they talked about it, that when they came together as a team, when they finally met up, because, you know, they're just in Finland chilling for a long time. And they actually said in one of the interviews there that they never, for some reason, met up. They never hung out until they all went to LA together. And when they did that, they gained so much team chemistry. They gained so much resolve that they were able to pull off this comeback. And I'm really impressed by it. Great team effort from them. I couldn't even really single out a single player that carried it. Zori did very well in the second half, but a lot of players, you know, contributed in various ways.
That's so insane to me, actually. Just to very quickly comment on that before I go back to the game. Like, you've been together in a team for how long, and you haven't met each other when you're playing from one country in Europe where public transportation is also really accessible and cheap? Like, guys, that feels like a pretty natural thing to do.
I know. I think one thing that struck me the most about it was that they said that one player, they didn't name who. I tried getting them to say it, but they wouldn't be toxic. Is that they said one player would oftentimes try to just leave TeamSpeak immediately. If they lost a game, he would just leave. But then after that, they had to just face their losses. They couldn't just leave TeamSpeak. They're literally in the room with them, so they have to face the music. And I think it made them a lot stronger. And I really like what I saw from them here. A great opening match to start the week.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I just want to give some quick props to Zori. He ended up things 22-21, and that in itself is not a sloppy scoreline by any means, but especially when you consider he started off something ridiculous like 0-13, 0-12, something on those lines, and then he's able to take it to 22-21. That just shows some impressive